Hello guys, welcome to Coding Cafe. My name is Muhammad Ali, and in this video tutorial we are going to implement our seller registration form so that we can allow any person who wants to become a seller and make their online shop, you can say, and then he can sell products using our this application. So yeah, in the previous tutorial we have created our login and a registration form for the seller, and now we have to implement it. So we have name, phone, email, password and address. So let's just add this here quickly. So we can say private. So we have added text. So the first one is name. Let's give it some proper name, that is name input. Then we have phone input. Then we have email input. Then we have password input. Then we have the last one, which is address input. So yeah, that's it. Now we have one button which is register, so we can say private button, and we can say register button. So when a user click on this, okay, first we have to assign IDs to it quickly. So name input equals to find view by ID or dot ID dot, I think it is by the name. Seller, let me check the IDs. We have to confirm it. It is seller name, phone. Okay, I'll start with the sellers. Okay, so seller name. Then let's copy paste this quickly. 4 times and 5 times. We have our phone input. For phone we have seller phone. Then we have email input, and the ID of this is seller email. Then password input, and then we can say password, seller password. And then the last one is address input, and it is seller address. So yeah, one is this register button. So we have all, twice. It is 2 times. So let's change this register button with the seller register button. Yeah, now when a user click on the register button, then we can do the registration process. So we can say dot set on click listener, new on click listener, and now we can create a method. We can call here a method which we will create, by the way, and it will be register seller. And let's create this method. Now in here we can say string. First one will be the name, and it is name input dot get text dot to string. Let's copy paste this quickly. Then we have name, phone, email, password. Phone, email, password, and address input. So we can give it a name as address. Now make sure to change this to phone input, email input, password input, address input, and we have to verify this. If name dot equals to null. If not, if name is not equals to null, and let's copy paste this for the remaining ones, and if the phone is also not equals to null, and if the email is also not equals to null, and if the password is also, okay, sorry, first we have to paste that, and let's change this. The password is also not equals to null, and the last one, which is address, I mean the user has to provide all these. Okay, so if it is, I mean if the address is not equals to null, then only in that case we are going to allow the seller to create account, basically to register in this app. Otherwise we will display a message to the user, I mean to the seller, that is, please complete the registration form. Or you can type any message, that is, let's say, please fill out all fields, whatever. So yeah, so before we do this, what we're gonna do is go to your Firebase project, and here we have this authentication. Let's open this. Before, I mean it is open, until it is open, we have to go to the Gradle scripts build.gradle module app. Come here, and here we have to check if we have the Firebase auth dependency. Okay, we have core database, storage, UI database. We have not added the Firebase auth. So in order to use the Firebase authentication, what we're going to do is just copy this. Okay, and so once you copy it, just paste that here, and make sure to change this with auth, 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 Firebase auth. Then press click on this sync now, and it is going to add the required components for the Firebase authentication. So it is running, and let's come here to the browser, and here you can see this is our authentication. Come here to the sign in method, and here we have this email password. Okay, make sure to enable this and then click save. So it is enabled now. Now come here, and yeah, everything is okay. Now let's go back to our Android Studio, and let's wait for it. So the build is completed successfully. Now close this, and here basically we can say, first let me create the Firebase auth, and let's create it here at the top. Okay, we can say private Firebase auth mauth, and then here in our own create you can say mauth equals to Firebase auth dot get instance, and then come down here, and here in our if condition we can say mauth dot create user, basically create user with email and password. Now it needs two parameters. The first one is the email, and the second one is the password, which the user will I mean the seller will write on the registration form. Let's add on complete listener on it, so we can say dot add on complete listener, new on complete listener. Make sure to put a semicolon here, and then here we can say, so basically it means that if a user is created successfully, I mean this if condition will check by using this task object. So you can say if task dot is complete dot is successful, then what we are going to do is to basically save the user information inside the Firebase real-time database. I mean all the information. So for that we need to create a database reference first. So we can say database reference, and let's give it name that is root ref. So root ref equals to Firebase database dot get instance dot get reference, and also we have to get this user ID. I mean the user who is going to create this account. Okay, so in order to get his unique ID, we can say, I mean we can create a string type variable, and then by using the auth we can say auth dot get current user dot get uid. Now let's create a hash map for storing the data inside the database, because we will have multiple fields. So we can say string object, let's give it name as seller map equals to new hash map. So seller map dot put. So first we will have our seller ID, so we can give it a name as sid, which means seller ID, and pass the uid to it. Let's copy paste this. Then we have a phone, and it is stored inside the phone variable. Then we have email, and then we have address, and then the name of the seller. So yeah, that's it, and remove this last one. Now we can say rootref.child. Let's create a separate child for this, for all the sellers. I mean the parent node for all the sellers, and it is by the name sellers. And inside these sellers we can identify each seller by their unique ID, which is stored inside this UID. Now instead of UID, let's change the name to SID, which means basically seller ID. I love to give proper names, I mean so that we can remember it easily. SID means the seller ID. Dot update children, and pass the seller map to it. Let's add the or add on complete listener. So we can say dot add on complete listener, new on complete listener. Make sure to put a semicolon here, and then we can say, I mean just a toast message we can display. We can say that is you are registered successfully. Now let's add a progress dialog also, so that it looks more cool. Now just for the time saving, I'm going to copy it from our buyers module. Okay, so we have this register activity here, and I'm going to copy the progress dialog code from here. Okay, just copy it, come here and paste it here, then come here, copy this line of code, and then paste it here. Okay, sorry, it is loading bar. Okay, here you can see it. And then what we're gonna do is copy this and come here inside our this method. If everything is okay, then we are going to add this loading bar dot set title creating seller account. Please wait while we are checking the credentials. and the rest of the thing will be same. And once it is completed, then we can say loading bar dot dismiss, and we are going to send the user to the seller home page. Now we have to create that page. Okay, so let's minimize this. This is our seller module. Right click here, new activity, activity, and bottom navigation activity. Let's give it name as seller home. Okay, and then click finish. Here you can see our new activity is created successfully. The XML file is activity seller home.xml, and this is our seller home activity. Here you can see it. Okay, and make sure to import this by pressing alt enter, or also you can click here import this R class. So yeah, that's it. Now also this activity has our inside the menu folder we have this bottom navigation menu.xml, which contain all these three options, which is home, dashboard, and notification, basically all these things. Okay, if I zoom it, you will be able to see it. But anyways, we will modify this in the next tutorial, but for now we have to complete our registration form. So in the home, basically we will display all the products of this specific seller. I mean, for every seller, which products he has already uploaded for, I mean, to sell to other peoples. Okay, so you will display it on the home. But anyways, for now let's just ignore this and let's complete our this thing. So but let's add the logout feature also in this tutorial. So come here, and instead of this constant layout, we are going to change it quickly to the relative layout, and remove this hello world from here. And what we can do next is to basically move this to the bottom. So make sure to change this width to the content, which is changed to 0 automatically when we change this to relative layout. Okay, so with rep content, and it must be at the bottom. So what we're gonna do is we can move it to the bottom by align parent bottom to true, and here you can see it. Now what's next is that to modify these. So come here to the bottom nav menu. Here we have our home we will be needing, then navigation dashboard. Instead of this, we can change the ID of this to navigation underscore add. So whenever the user click on this navigation add, you will send the user to the activity where a seller can basically upload new products to this app. I mean, if you want to sell. So navigation add, and we can add an icon for this. I think we have, no, we don't have that icon. So I will provide a link to this icon, okay, which is this add icon. If I show you, you can just download this icon, and once you download this icon, then you can just cut it and come here, and inside the drawable folder we can say show in explorer, and then paste it inside this drawable folder. So yeah, now let's come here to our, where it is, this one, bottom nav, and we left here, and inside the drawable now we have the add icon, okay, which you can see appear here. And instead of notifications, we are going to add the logout, navigation logout. Yes, it is by the name, it is already there by the name logout. I mean, inside the drawable folder we have the logout icon. Now remember these IDs: navigation add, navigation logout. Come here and make sure to change this with navigation add, then we have navigation logout. Now these are the basic three buttons, but we will add, I mean, time to time we will add more features to the seller, so we will modify these things. Okay, I mean, we will add more feature also. So navigation logout, but for now we will just go with this. So for the logout, if a user click on the logout button, what we're gonna do is here inside our this case we can say final Firebase auth mauth equals to Firebase auth dot get instance mauth dot sign out. Let's make some space between these options so that we can differentiate, I mean, between these cases. Okay, so this is our sign out. Now let's create an intent. We are on the seller home activity. We want to send the user to our sorry to our main activity, I mean from where our app basically starts. So we can say main activity dot class, and then we can start the activity. For the intent we have to add some flags so that when a user click on the back button, it must not go back to that. So you can say intent dot add flags, intent dot flag activity new task, input this perpendicular sign, intent, I mean this pipe dot flag activity clear task. So yeah, and what we can do now is, first let me check here, I mean we have to write an intent here also. So let's just copy paste this and come here, and once the user is logged in successfully, I mean the seller account is created successfully, then we can say seller registration activity. We are going to send the user to the seller home activity, and yeah, and also if a user is already logged in, then it must also then it must automatically send the user from the main activity to the seller home activity. So for that we have to go to the main activity, which basically inside our buyers activity, inside the buyers module, sorry. So come here to the main activity, and here we need to set it on the on start. So after this on create, we are going to create a method by the name on start, and in here we have to check, I mean we have to get the Firebase user, equals to Firebase auth dot get instance dot get current user. And if Firebase user is not equals to null, if it is not equals to null, it means that the user is already logged in. So we are going to send the user, copy this, and on the main activity we have to paste that here. So yeah, it is our main activity, and we are going to send the user to the seller home activity. That's it. Now let's test the app so that we can see what is going on actually. So the app is running now successfully, and let's just test it. So want to become a seller, let's type name. So let's say the seller is Mohammed Ali, and the phone I can type just as a test 123456 is the phone number 789, let's say. Then email will be this. Then we have password, this is my password. And then shop address, so let's say Silicon Valley, shop number 44, let's say USA. And then click on register. Creating seller account, please wait. And you are registered successfully. Boom. Now let's check it. Come here, and here you can see sellers. The first seller is this one. This is the unique ID, and then we have address, email, name, phone, and the SID, which is the seller ID. If we come to the authentication, refresh this, reload, and here you can see the account, the first account for the seller is created successfully. Now you can just log out from here, okay? And by the way, let's change these titles, okay? So come here we have our to the bottom nav menu.xml, and make sure to change this to, let's change this quickly, it is our add product button, and then we have our logout, so we can say log out. That's it. Now let's test the app so that we can also check the feature, which is when we are already logged in, that must send us to the seller home page. So the Gradle build is running, and let's wait for it. So the app is running now successfully, and here you can see home, add logout, and let's click on this logout button, and here you can see I am logged in successfully. And by the way, when the app starts, it already sent us to the seller home, okay? To the seller home activity. So yeah, everything is working fine. So that's it for this video, and in the next tutorial we are going to work on the seller login form, so that we can allow a seller to log in into his account when he basically log out from the app. Let's create another seller so that we can see if it is working fine or not. So let's say Peter Parker, then phone, let's say 9876, this is, let's say, the phone number. Then email will be peter@gmail.com, password 123456, and then shop address, so we can say, let's say Paris, mega, just give any address randomly just for the testing purposes, okay? Shop number 234, let's say France, and then click on register, and here you can see it, the new seller is added successfully. These are the information. If you go to the authentication, refresh this, and boom, it is working so nice, so cool. So yeah, that's it for this video, and in the next tutorial we will work on the seller login form, and then we will move here, and we will allow the seller to add products, and we will display the for each individual. That is, let's say Peter Parker will have their own specific products which he is going to sell, so we will display Peter Parker products here so that he can know that which products basically he is selling, okay? And also same for this user, which is Muhammad Ali. So yeah, we will be working on that in the next tutorial. And by the way, each product will be verified, it will be approved by the admin. If the admin do not approve any product from the seller, then the seller is not able to sell that specific product. So the seller will basically add a product, I mean he will upload a product, it will be in the approved form where the admin will approve each specific product. Okay, so once the admin verify that product, then it will be available to the end users, basically to the buyers, so then the buyers can purchase these products just like you guys see in Amazon and AliExpress. Okay, so yeah, that's it for this video, and see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.